Welcome back to Switch to Linux. I'm going to try this microphone placement because everyone keeps on telling me that, turn your mic up. Guys, my mic is actually maxed out. It's just I have a crappy soundboard right now. And I wanted to get a soundboard in the budget this month, but it did not happen because I just didn't have the budget. So we're going to run like this, see how it looks. I don't like having the mic absolutely obscuring everything, but between my crappy microphone stand and my crappy soundboard, we're going to try this and see what you guys think of it. Is the audio good, bad, too loud, too soft? Is it balanced with everybody else? So guys, let me know in the comments as we go through. So we have our supporters on. We have Dan and Vincent, and if there's any other supporters out there you guys want to jump on as well, then the links are up on Patreon and on thinklifemedia.com. So if you are a supporter, you can grab the links over there. So how you guys doing?
Great.
Very well, thank you.
All right. So what's the temperature down there in Down Under?
19 Celsius. What's that,
Okay.
like 65 or so? I don't know.
It's going to tell you what it is here, but apparently the weather service is not working because I don't have weather.
It's about 70 here. Maybe
Yeah,
a little.
nice.
It's rolling off because it's getting dark.
Mm-hmm. Soundboards are bloat. It might be.
That's because DT showed up.
Oh, okay. That's it. Well, the DT's got a bloat soundboard. Come on, man. That's an awesome soundboard.
He's got a banging sound system now.
It's 63 Celsius or 63 Fahrenheit. Excuse me.
63 Celsius. Whoa, that's hot.
Yeah.
All right. So how's everybody on the comment feed? We have KO2610. How's it going there? Just popped up now to say absolutely. We should have the right to be forgotten. All right. Chad V, how's it going there? Totally agreed. Hey, what are you agreeing with? I mean, you don't know what I'm going to say, man. I mean, I might surprise all y'all. I doubt it, but... Simple Tech. People need to be careful with this. It should require some brief red tape legal paperwork. That actually gets closer to my viewpoint. I don't know where you guys sit as well on that, but let's see. Simply Linux. Hello, William Armstrong. Greetings, Bruce Scott. Hello there. And let's see. Piece of CJ is destroying his DAC, or at least. Yes, he is. DT, how's it going there? Steven Anderson, hello to you. We got Robert, 68. How's it going there? I lost my place. Where am I? There we are. Audio is an improvement over yesterday so far. Yeah, one of the downsides, though, is if I do this over this way, you're going to get a decrease in sound versus if I'm going this way. And depending on which screen I'm looking at, we may get that issue. So, where it was before and if I get a better soundboard and I can jack up the volume a little bit more on the microphone end, then it'll be better to put it a little off camera. It gets a more equal sound everywhere. So anyway, let's see. Hello, Anna Rita. Independent Minds. Society is bloat. Yep. DT says he did go a full bloat on the soundboard. All right, that's good. Do you want me to forget you? See, there's where we're getting to. We have some difficult questions. This is not a simple yes or no question. There's a lot of complexity to this. All right, so I passed out the article to you guys. Did you get a chance to read it? And what were your initial thoughts?
My initial thought is this kind of needs to be tailored to specific situations. I take it the EU, if it's not something that's directly on, it should be on the internet. It should not be displayed, like things like personal information and stuff like that should be opted out unless you opt in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got out of it.
Sure. All right, Vince, what do you think?
I'm interested in seeing how they're going to police this in terms of restricting it to the EU, because, I mean, lawmakers continually fail to understand that the internet makes the world a much smaller place, and you can actually be anywhere in the world and still search anywhere else in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you could easily get around with a VPN. It's like you want to look somebody up, just jump on a VPN to the United States, and you'll be good. So, yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I kind of had that thought, too, when it said that it was limited to Europeans, but it didn't include the rest of the world. Well, a European, if they want to do some nosing around, all they have to do is set up a VPN, for like a United States address or something like that, and then they could see anything they wanted.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So this is just kind of a whatever. Google's happy because it means that they don't have to comply here in the United States. That's really ultimately what it boils down to. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what is the right to be forgotten, because we have to start with this definition before we actually dive into everything else. So what this boils down to, and in my understanding, I don't remember if this article actually got into the whole history, but the way I remember first hearing this history, it was a guy, and I think he was in Australia originally, and he had done some bad stuff in his youth, and he went to jail for a while, and he served his time, and he cleaned up, and then he tried to start a business. And then there were people that would look him up, and it turns out that when you looked him up, it would show his criminal past, and they're like, I don't really want to do business with a guy and a criminal. Although this was 20 years ago, which raises these interesting questions today where people are digging back through your tweets 15 years back and canceling you because of something stupid you said when you were a 16-year-old. And we should never have our lives ruined by what we do when we're 16, because 16-year-olds are kind of inherently morons. Not all of them, but as a generality, those that have had young kids or worked with young kids, you understand what I'm talking about.
They tend to act first and think later.
Correct. And when you're acting first and thinking later, writing in a permanent ink on an internet wall that can never be removed, we are always going to find some issues. And so with that, we have to consider that factor. So this guy then came down and said, hey, I want this stuff removed because this is something I paid for. It was 20 years in the past. I'm a completely new person. I'm trying to start a business. And so he ended up suing Google over it. And he ended up not being able to pursue it because Google's like, hey, you got to sue us in our jurisdiction. So the guy was from Australia. He would have to fly all the way across the country, engage in a lawyer over here, all for something that was fully running and operating in his home country. And so with that, it's one of these weird, okay, now we got to scratch our heads. Now, this article starts talking about, the right to free speech. Is it the right to free speech for an internet company to have all of this information about us online that we've never specifically said they could have? I call that spying personally, but what do you guys think of that?
If it's legitimate information, so if someone has done something bad in the past and they've been convicted of it, I don't see anything wrong with that information being publicly available. All right. But I think that part of the problem is this culture of outrage that we have now, and everybody's just so quick to react to something without thinking about it as well. So the responsibility, I think, also lies on someone who goes searching for someone and finds information that might be detrimental to them, to then maybe dig around a bit more and find out, okay, did he pay for the crime? Are they reformed now? Are they trying to turn a new leaf over? And if they are, then good luck to them. But I think part of it also is on the responsibility of someone whoever's looking up this information too.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, maybe he could have been very proactive and had a section about his past on his website. I think back, there's a Christian documentarian who has I think his group is called Real to Real Ministries or something, I forget, an apologetics group, I think. So he does really good video documentaries. Well, he was arrested in his youth as, he was in his 20s and into drugs and into all this kind of stuff, and gets arrested and all this. He actually draws attention to some of that in his documentaries. In fact, in one scene, he uses himself as an example. Who would you rather have a blood donor from? The person who's following what it says, or someone like me before I was following what it says? I'm using drugs. I have this promiscuous lifestyle, and here's my mugshot, So maybe the guy needs to have a spot on his website to say, hey, this was my past, and I've saved my time and all this. So maybe in that instance, sure, maybe Google should not have to take that out because it's something that's real. So, I don't know. What do you think on that, Dan? Would you say Vince would be right on that? Or would you say there should be a statute of limitations on that type of information? What do you think?
Well, first of all, here in the United States, it doesn't go to just starting a business. Let's say you want to get a new job or you're searching for employment. It is so easy for employers to actually just look somebody up and look at their entire history.
Hmm.
I mean, not just criminal, I mean marriage, divorce, the whole ball of wax.
Hmm.
They can pay companies to dig this stuff up.
Yeah.
And it's, if they're going to tell a story, they should at least tell the whole story and not selective pieces of it.
I
Or
mean that.
just put a time limit on it and expunge it.
Yeah.
I mean that's fine for them to do, but my point was that then their responsibility then is to reach out to the person involved, find out what their point of view is before making any sort of judgment on it. I think the outrage and judgmental sort of attitude also has gotten out of hand too.
Hmm. Sure.
If you have misdemeanor charges, at least in my state, after 10 years, you're allowed to go up to the county courthouse and have them totally expunged.
Hmm.
So they're not on your record ever.
Yeah, and here's the thing though. Despite they're not on the record anymore, those will still appear in Internet Archives. So maybe
Yeah.
we should have a system in place to say if this is a misdemeanor, if according to the law this is now expunged, it needs to be globally expunged from the internet. Hard to do, but maybe that's something we should think about as an option. So it may be something that I would need to be, if I wanted to expunge something crazy in my past, I might have to go on and dig through stuff and then issue the takedown, kind of like a DMCA takedown. Like, hey, here I'm issuing you a takedown. This is something that is related to a misdemeanor over 10 years ago, and here's my certification that is legally expunged. You need to take this down now. Then, of course, how do we get that out of the Internet Archives? And so I'm not all into rewriting history, but I think Vince might be right on this the most. It's the impetus of the person who looks at it, but that being said, maybe the companies doing background research will have a limit as to how far back they can dig into somebody's life.
I've brought this up before, and in the past, there were certain companies or in businesses you could hire that would actually scour the internet and remove or challenge stuff that's been posted in places on the internet that turns up. But them services have seemed to just disappeared. I don't hear about them anymore.
Yeah.
That's because you can just search Facebook now.
Maybe that's because Facebook has come out and it's grown into such a big mess, nobody can control it.
Simply Text says, I just want to expunge the bugs and nasty Chinese food I ate. Shh, you weren't supposed to tell anyone.
But yeah, now you have the social media, big players, far beyond MySpace have came out, and you can't no longer just go on the internet and find.
Uh-oh, did we lose Dan? Vince, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Oh, we lost Dan. Oh no. Oh well. When Dan jumps back on, we'll let him finish his thought. All right. All right. So let's see. Let me jump in on comments, and we'll dig into the article here. All right. Okay. Audio sounds okay. Good. So I guess you guys like the audio better like this. This is actually kind of how I record the nice, trippy, soft videos I'm doing these days, just like this. All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. He just disappeared. I think he's back. Hey, are you back, Dan? I think you're back, Dan.
My web browsers. There we go. People are starting to move.
Uh-oh.
Dan got expunged.
So, Dan just got expunged from the stream. That's right. Get out of here.
My internet's not the best.
Anna Rita says, if a person breaks the law, even doing the right thing, well, it deserves jail time anyways. See, that's the thing. We're not saying, hey, nobody needs to do anything. We're saying you've already paid your debt. You've already gone there. And there's cases where things are expunged. It's like, take, for example, the 16-year-old who posts something stupid on Twitter or on Facebook. If a 16-year-old breaks the law, under most cases, they'll be judged by a juvenile and their records will be completely expunged at 18. Why can we not do the same for a Twitter account or a Facebook account? So Cybernetic the Robot said, yes, you said the N-word years ago. So what? It's in the past. Yeah, I agree. Somebody's saying DT words mean something, but I don't see what DT said. DT, what did you say?
There's the old story where a guy goes to prison for 5 years, gets out, and he can't find a job because he don't know how to do nothing or anything. Now he's got that, plus he's got his whole profile on the internet, so he might as well go back to jail.
Yeah, or just go back to illegal deeds and take his chances to not, you know. But I mean, there's cases. Fortunately, there's cases like we have in our town. We have a place called Centerpiece, in down here in Center County, and they are basically, you know, they're like a thrift shop. Only they only hire ex-convicts to work there. You have to be an ex-con. So, and they'll work directly with the prisons. They'll work with the prison ministries. As soon as somebody gets out of jail, they're like, hey, you got a job right here if you need it, and they do a great service.
I've worked with people who have been rehabilitated, and there's no greater motivator than, you know, getting your life back in order.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There are some states here in the States that actually will give you a tax credit for hiring somebody that's been discharged from prison.
Mm-hmm. Netflix, watch something funny. Yeah, violent or funny or both. What? All right, who's going to watch the Joker movie? There's some controversy. Oh, boy. Let's see. A Marvel movie? Is Marvel still on Netflix? I thought they were off. Or are they still there for now? Or are they not off yet? I don't know. I don't get Netflix.
Well, they got their 4 characters, Luke Cage, Dirt Devil, Jessica Jones, and one other one, the Iron Fist. Those are usually the 4 Netflix mainline characters for Marvel. I'm surprised they pulled that out of a hat.
Okay, let's see. I didn't know those existed.
They're characters that were invented by Marvel, especially for Netflix, and you won't see them anywhere else.
Huh, interesting.
Something else that Netflix really poured a lot of money into, have you ever seen the movie The Dark Crystal?
I have.
Jim Henson movie with puppets and stuff like that. Well, Netflix just did an extraordinary job of revamping that film into a 10-episode prequel. And it is awesome the way they make the puppets look so lifelike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got him. Everyone's talking about they got you, Dan. The CIA came for Dan. All right, Dan. What'd you do? What did you do?
Yeah, they bang on the door every morning. It's not them, it's the FBI.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to our article. I've plowed through the comments, saw everything that was relevant there. All right, so in this article, there was a case where... hold on. So there was a case where this has kind of been going through for quite a while, but in EU, they actually have the ability to have a right to be forgotten. So somebody in the EU went through, but then they found they were still able to find the same information on the United States version, and so they sued to try and get that. And Google's like, no, as long as they're staying in their geo-restricted area of the EU, then, you know... it will be removed, but they said they don't have to remove it from the rest of the world. So the court cases finally came down and said, yes, we agree with you, that the right to be removed is only an EU thing, so you are only removed from EU variants of the website. So that's kind of what happens. But with that, I kind of want to ask that same question. Should we have one such law here or there, wherever you are? And with that, is that, you know, how would we implement it? What would it be? What would we have? So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think you should have the right to opt out from any internet type negativity stuff that's pulled from any of your personal records or anything like that. I think you should be able to opt out of having computerized medical records. Mm-hmm. Things like that should be opt out. Or you should, better yet, have to opt in to do that.
Yeah.
Now, things like websites, if you're going to have websites for business and stuff like that, it used to be, I think you put metadata in the beginning of the web page that allowed the crawlers to go around and pick up on that and add your page to a search engine. Am I correct?
Yeah, and it's still there. Yep.
It should be limited to that for businesses and people that want to sell services or exchange blogs or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Vince?
I think there's also, I mean, we've all been saying that we should try to have someone left out if they want to, but let's say on the other hand that, you know, you have someone who is in power or in a position of influence who might genuinely hold some views that could be detrimental to that position, and somebody really would like to expose that and show someone for who they are. That might be a legitimate use of this, in this case, of this information. If someone has expressed views that may still be current.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
pose a opposing
We all
opinion here as
change.
well.
Here's something else
Yeah.
that
There
I
are going to
think.
be exceptions. This stream would be a really good one. I mean, me and Vince are willing participants to be here with you.
Oh yeah,
You know, you
Yeah.
can't expunge this because it's already done out there and everybody's looking at it.
Yeah, correct.
yeah. I mean,
And-
maybe I wasn't so clear. Like, if, for example, you know, someone is in a racial rights group, right? But secretly in their Facebook, they're saying, "Oh no, I hate this race or I hate that race." I mean, that needs to be exposed.
Sure. So I kind of look at it this way. This is my ultimate thought. The first is any private citizen should have to opt in to having information online. So, you know, if you look up your average person, nearly anybody can have any information online, including current addresses, which is creepy as all get out. In fact, there's a company, and I cannot remember the name of it now, but they actually went this too far. Most cases, you'd have to pay a fee to get that information. But there's one company, I can't remember their name, but they literally just put it all out publicly. And you could do an opt-out. So I actually did an opt-out, but it's staggering the amount of information that they had on people. And it's all just publicly searchable, publicly available. And so I think any private citizen should have their addresses. No company should be allowed to publish your address on the open internet or even pay for it without some serious checks and balances in place. Even public figures should not have personal residences available online unless they explicitly put them on their own platforms. So if I go onto Facebook or YouTube or my own personal website or any other site I'm using and I post that information, there is no reason that should ever be expunged because I willingly put it out there. But, and also going back to this guy breaking the law, I think that if you have broken the law and you've been through the systems, court records are public documents. And as long as those remain public documents, they need to remain public documents. But if they are expunged, we should have the ability to get those removed from the internet. So those are my thoughts. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It used to be a thing when we all used landline telephones that every year everybody got a phone book.
Yep.
If you opted to pay for a private phone number, if I'm not mistaken, your number would not go in that book.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
So thus you were private and opted out of the data circulation.
Yeah. And of course, there we have to remember we had to pay to opt out of that. You know,
yeah,
the
private.
$2. Yeah, I think I used to pay like $2 or $3 a month for that, right?
The private line costs more.
Yep.
There is also legitimate use for this right to be forgotten as well, and that is if someone wrote an opinion piece on you, say you're a public figure, but that opinion piece no longer holds true, that should be expunged. That should be just removed.
So how do we vet that is no longer holding true?
That's too hard.
Yeah.
Next.
So, for example, let me go back into the crazy roots. If you all remember the crazy televangelist Benny Hinn, right? Like chief of the health and wealth gospel. Well, he's coming out right now like coming out against the health and wealth gospel. It's like, well, what are you doing? Because you're the biggest health and wealth preacher out there next to Joel Osteen, you know? And it's like, how are you going to say, well, I want to get all of those things that have written about me off the internet now because I've changed my views? Has he really changed his views after 40 years of being the most corrupt televangelist there ever was? You know, how do we figure that one out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's jump back over, look at our comments, and you guys can jump in if you need. Let's see. Penguin Revolution, probably already gone, but see you later. Have a good night. Thanks for coming along. DT, Dark Crystal. Is it as good as Labyrinth? Love that movie. Great movie. Yeah, Labyrinth had some awesome David Bowie music. That was some good music. Excellent film. Maybe I'll watch that tonight. Got it. All right. Let's see. Unchained, greetings. Not to mention DEA and the like, looking to watch drug users, I guess it is. Users. Haven't many of us already opted in anyway by clicking I agree on the little button under the wall of legalese? That's a very valid point. I mean, maybe, but have you ever opted into having your personal residence and your phone number and people? In fact, that website even has people you're related to all on it as well. Have you opted into that? Okay. Best way to expunge. Yeah. Best way to expunge the internet record is a total nuclear war. There you go. MAD, the ultimate and the ultimate is expunsion. Yeah, internet is free. DT says the internet is public. You are free to say anything you want, but accept the consequences. Yes.
It used to be, what is your phone number? I'll give you a call. Nowadays, what is it? What's your IP address? I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Completely agree, DT.
Oh, you had to watch Labyrinth a lot whenever it rained. Do you like it now or hate it now because of that?
Oh, yeah. No, well, I haven't watched it in, 20, maybe 30 odd years now. So it's about time to return to it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I do have good memories of it. It was a great movie.
So it's like, all right, so it's raining. We get to watch Labyrinth. Yay, it's raining. I mean, they didn't switch it up. They didn't give you like mix in with some Fraggle Rock or something.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just Labyrinth that they had on tape. And by the end, the tape was so worn out. It had all the lines going through it.
Yep. That was the first year. He's getting back to 1984, and he's go back to 92, 96 standards. No internet, 92, 96. Oh, boy. Yeah, 1984, though. It's exciting.
Have you heard from our buddy Quint?
No, I haven't. I have not.
I haven't seen him around in a while.
Maybe I'll send him an email or something. See how he's doing.
He better be doing his homework.
Yeah, either doing his homework. Maybe he found a girl. I don't know. that would definitely change it.
I know he had to probably go back to school, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll shoot him an email. See what he says.
Pizza comes around when he gets his internet allowance.
Yeah, I think like right now he's doing guitar lessons on Thursdays, I think. So I sent him the link last week or 2 weeks ago, and he said he had school and then he went right over to guitar lessons. So cool, maybe we'll start hearing some music stuff on his channel too.
Yeah,
that
better
would be
to play
awesome.
the guitar than the computer.
There you go. Yeah. Opinion hit piece, kind of like Richard Stallman. Yeah, there you go.
CompuServe.
Seen Benny Hinn jacket assaults? Benny Hinn jacket assaults? I don't think so. Let me look up Benny Hinn jacket assaults. Do we have anything else to say on this topic before we go into let's see. Evangelist Benny Hinn's son arrested in Brazil for beating up a deaf guy. I don't know. I don't know what you have mean about jacket assaults. Could you clarify? But I'll tell you that the best the best one about Benny Hinn is that I completely butchered. Why can I not spell that word there? Let me just make sure this is muted. And
Does
yes,
Benny Hinn's son want that article removed?
I don't know. All right, but this by far. Oh, hold on. I gotta change my internet back over here. This by far is like the best ever Benny Hinn video, I think. Right. So we got this. This is the Benny Hinn intergalactic thing. I don't know if I'll let me.
Galactic Empire!
I don't want to play too much audio. There we go. So somebody dubbed in all the Star Wars stuff. He's, of course, if you're not familiar with the concept of slaying in the spirit, that's what he's doing, which is a total bunch of nonsense. Oh, man, you guys can't even see it. No! I gotta go back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna back up so you guys can actually see Benny Hinn engaging in the evil Empire stuff. Yeah, there you go. Somebody dubbed all the Star Wars stuff into Benny Hinn. And then we get near the end, and he's doing this. This is great stuff right here. This guy's a loon, not a Christian. Hashtag not a Christian. So the concept of slaying in the spirit is a charismatic. They're like, we do this, and it's the Holy Spirit causing you to go deaf and stuff. And so this is like casting out a demon or something.
Are you showing it
like that?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. We're showing it. Yep. You guys are on delay. So yeah, that's Benny Hinn. He's totally
I like that lightsaber.
I think my hold on, I gotta reset you guys. For some reason my systems have been jumping off lately when I've been doing that. There we are. Alright, yeah. First browser is yeah, you guys have seen it now, right?
Yeah, it's almost to the end for me.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Watching YouTube on a YouTube chat.
It's kind of like Inception, right?
Kind of how OBS works.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Are we devolving into a Richard Stallman discussion again?
I hope not. Yeah. I wish they just buried the discussion on that guy and put him in the past.
Pretty much. I don't want to even use any hate speech or anything with that situation. I just want it to go away. Everyone's got good points. Everyone's got bad points in their life, Wife says, hi, she loves the new microphone. Asks, is there a better for streaming on? Tomorrow for the news, it will actually be back where it usually is, so it'll be just fine. I just moved it closer today. I want to get the new soundboard. Now, when I'm recording from this angle, the microphone sits about another 6 inches further away. When I'm recording the news, the microphone's actually a lot closer than it looks. You just can't see it on screen. And so it's just like the other thing I could do is I could keep this same soundboard and get a better boon and boon the microphone better. I could do that.
Or you could just have a mic on each side.
I could, well, if I wanted a mic on either side, I would definitely need another soundboard. This one only has one input.
Things that go around it that say STL on it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. All right, let's see if there's anything else on this article here, and then maybe wrap up the discussion points. I don't really
DT's asking if we can get Benny Hinn on your channel, Tom.
Can we get Benny Hinn on the channel? Probably not. I have a sneaky suspicion he would completely disagree with me on, almost everything. We could probably agree that Jesus is the risen Lord. I'm not sure if there's much more we could have much agreement on.
But you could also have a lightsaber fight.
We could have a lightsaber fight. He'd probably win. He is definitely the emperor, and I am not. So why the need for the soundboard? Because this type of microphone has to have a soundboard. So the old microphone setup was a USB one. This one needs a soundboard. It's just that the board that I have does not have any onboard amplification. It just sends the information directly down to directly into the system. So it does have some audio here, like I can go, but the system is already maxed out. So if I were to get a
Yes.
real soundboard one that has some back end power amplification, it would actually be able to, go back and forth. So I could actually set it what I need it to be. Will there be fire tomorrow? Probably. I think I have like 25 articles. I'm gonna have to parrot it down quite a bit.
I thought you could say, I think I have 25 matches left.
Yes, 25 matches left. Yes. About government records, birth certificates, and such. I don't know. What do we think? Should those be publicly available, publicly accessible, or not?
New birth records contain your birth date, which is a link of information that could get you burned really
Yep.
bad.
So
Yep.
okay,
Because
yes.
they're used for identification.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I guess that birth certificates and things are not
Now that
already
they link you
available.
to your mother and father and all that in the family tree, and
If you have a legitimate use for it, for searching someone's record, and you can I think you can apply to get access to it, but not publicly available and freely searchable. No.
Yeah. Benny probably uses Windows. Wouldn't doubt it. Getting 1, 2. All right. You know what I really need to do? There's a music store in town that's closing down. I should go down there and see if they have any soundboards still left on sale. I should do that tomorrow.
oh, that's a shame. Another music store.
Yeah, well, they're very unprofessional and kind of jerks. So most of the music community in this town stays away from them. So I'm not surprised. We have 2 locally owned music stores that are really good.
We had a lot of them around here, even ones that carried high-end Baldwin pianos and Yamaha pianos and
Yeah.
Fender guitars and Gibsons and the good stuff.
Wow.
And they had all this stuff, Ludwig drums.
Yeah.
And it's like the demand for them dropped out, so the store couldn't stay afloat anymore.
Yeah, I think what keeps most of the music stores around is your high school music programs, because you got to buy your instruments and things. So there's a good reason to support your high school music programs.
On the other hand, the next door computer store is just booming and branching out.
Yeah. Let's see. Country Fried Linux. How's it going there, Country Fried? Greetings. Thanks for coming by. Okay, if you don't want to be on the internet, then don't play online multiplayer games. Yeah. I mean, there's a valid point of that, but my mother, who is completely incompetent with computers and really doesn't go on the internet at all for anything, literally anything, there's probably still a lot of records I could find on her online. And, she's never really been on there. It's just people gather and sell it. Some more cables to make sure. Yes, there will be more cables. I'm thinking about building a shelf for all this stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking about reconcepting some of the office, but it probably won't happen.
Do your cats chew at the cables?
No, my cats are extremely well behaved. Hey, I can leave a wonderfully cooked steak on the table for 5 minutes. The cats won't go near it. They will only go near it if I cut off a piece and hand it to them. My cats are very well behaved. I could always throw some of the weaker articles into the fire. Yes, that's right. What's your mother's maiden name? Yes, Bob.
It says here in the article that a case arose in 2016 after France's privacy watchdog CNIL fined Google 100,000 euros, which is $109,000, for refusing to delist sensitive information from search results globally upon request. Sorry about that. My eyes are a little bad, but that's a slap on the hand. 100,000 euros.
Yeah,
I think that's the case that's referenced in this article. I think that's what started this article.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of listed the fine down towards the end of the article, though. So I don't know. But to slap one of these big companies on the hand for $100,000, they throw that away at the bar every weekend.
Yeah, pretty much, and probably quite literally too. Yeah.
Have you
I've
read what
reset the
DT said?
cameras. Yeah. Oh, what did he say? Musicians tend to be arrogant, elitist snobs. Well, some of the Linux guys are too. Like, to be fair.
That's what he means. I think that's what he means. That's the point.
All right, DT, which one's worse? What do you think? I guess the answer depends. Depends. Which distro you're running?
By the way,
Yeah. All right. So that's our discussion. Not an easy solution. In the internet age, obviously, I think we always will find some things on the internet, and I think that that's a fine thing. And so, oh, look at this. Hi, Kitty.
Yeah, this is very complicated because even though the Europeans can no longer actually access any of their information under this new ruling, Google, sitting over here in the United States, can still continuously accumulate everything that goes on in Europe, and the European people don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, they can't even see it.
They can't see what we're collecting.
So, music scene is worse, but not by much. All right. Okay. Yeah, are we talking art, taking art into account? Yeah. All right. Oh, Kitty, you want some kitty treats? Kitty. All right. Oh boy, Kitty. What do you think, huh? Want some of those kitty treats, don't you? You have to help yourself. Come on. Stick your paw in there. Stick your face in there. Yeah, we got the paw action going. Come on. Give me one more paw. There you go. All right. Get it. Yeah. Good boy. One more? I don't know if he got one. Did he get one? I didn't see him chew, so I think he knocked it back in there. There you go. That's all you get for now. We got another stream. Maybe I'll feed you on that one too. Okay. That's it.
Well, that cat's going to really pork out the way you feed him so many treats.
Oh, yeah. He's already porking out, man. Right, Kitty?
Just turn up the kitty treadmill.
Yeah, I should. I need to get me one of them kitty cameras I'll just throw the laser out there. Of course, this cat here, like, he likes the laser, but not enough to chase it across the room. He likes it and he plays with it. It's right in front of his face.
He's
but
getting older and his bones hurt.
Yeah, and you move it, slide it over to the other eye, and he's like, dude, as much as I want to go play with that, I'm just gonna roll over instead.
I ran into that with my cat. When he was young, he'd chase that darn thing all over the house, no matter where you put it. And as he got older, he slowed down, and then he got to the point like, yeah, I see that thing, but I ain't doing nothing with it.
It's like, I like it. Cool. Memories. No, I ain't doing nothing else, man. Anyone with a Chromebook is running Gentoo. Yeah, but is it true Gentoo? I'm going to argue against that. Feline diabetes. Yeah. What's happened?
No, if you're running Chromebook, you didn't compile it, did you?
No, probably not. Therefore, it's not true Gentoo, is it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any final words, guys? It looks like we'll end this one a little earlier.
Yeah, that would be funny if you bought a Chromebook and you had to take it home, download the net installer, or use the net installer thing that comes built into it, compile your Gentoo on your Chromebook before you can use it.
Yeah. Then you can say, we got real stuff.
Yeah, the real stuff.
So I am doing on my other channel tonight, I will be talking about Christians and climate change. Oh boy, hot topic issues. So if you want to join me over there, talk about climate change, you can do that. Good night, DT. Any other final words for you guys?
Well, all I can say is we need to get involved in more opt out or be careful of opting into certain internet things that are going on in certain programs and record keeping and stuff like that. It's, the internet's becoming the wild, wild west.
Well, not really the Wild Wild West. It's more or less becoming the full-fledged corporate control everybody with all our data. You know,
Yeah, I
there's
think
in theory rules, but those rules are written by the people who control it.
it's the electrical apocalypse.
Yeah, there you go. That's better. Uh, all right. All right. Any final words, Vince, on your end?
No, I'm like the cat. I'm just chill with the laser pointer. Yeah.
Oh, you're just chill. Just chill with the laser pointer. All right. I gotta go find my
Yeah.
laser pointer.
Said enough already.
Yep. All right. Well, we will catch you guys later, and have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Join us over there for the climate change, tomorrow for the news. Talk, 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 talk.